Welcome to the Postgame show on KCRG.com, streaming on the KCRG-TV9 YouTube page. I'm Jack Lito. Scott Sable and Chelsea Brown are joining me from MVP Arena in Albany after the Iowa Hawkeyes take down the Colorado Buffaloes 89-68 in Albany. Colorado led for about 30 seconds and then almost 40 minutes of domination for the Hawkeyes. Scott and Chelsea, talk to me. How were the Hawkeyes able to dominate the Buffaloes like they did?
They took advantage of what Colorado gave them. You know, they play pressure defense, so the way to beat that, take it to the basket. They did that, and it was a layup drill at times, especially early in this game, Chelsea.
I mean, their paint points for Iowa were very impressive.
Right here, I got them right here. 46-36 against Colorado, and Colorado's a big team inside. To beat them by 10 points in the paint is really impressive.
Absolutely. We were talking about their height and just how that was going to be a challenge for Hannah Stolke. Didn't seem like that was really a challenge. And then Caitlin Clark early, a little frustrated, not hitting her three shot that she likes to hit. But the way that she was passing the ball to her teammates was phenomenal. That's why the Hawkeyes finished with all 5 starters in double figures in scoring, which I don't believe has happened at all this season.
Yeah, impressive. If you go down the stats, Stolke had a double-double. Sydney Folter, 15 points on 6 of 6 shooting. Kate Martin, 14 points. Caitlin Clark, double-double, 29 and 15. Gabby Marshall, 14 points, 4 of 5 from behind the arc. This was by far the most complete game they have played this year. And to get everyone involved like that, and if you can shoot the ball, and in the second quarter, they shot 69.2% from the field. They are a tough team to beat if you do that. I don't care who they're playing.
Talking with the players a little bit after, I said, what was it about, maybe this arena, shooting-wise? Because they've honestly been quite on since we've been here. It's just the little bit of practice that we got to watch. I mean, their shots were going in there. They were going in warm-ups. You saw, obviously, their offense during this game. So I asked them just, what is it? They said, I don't know. I think they are just laser-focused. They are trying to get back to Cleveland right now. And this was just an impressive Sweet 16 performance.
Yeah, and talking about Caitlin Clark, obviously she didn't score a lot of points like she normally does, 29, but not 40 points or 35 points. But this was one of her better games of the year for the simple fact she took what they gave them, and the passing, her passing was brilliant.
Well, and it just seemed like Colorado, too, would just kind of step aside and make a lane for her. She was getting so many, just 2 buckets, up the middle. It was just kind of, I scratched my head a little bit, just looking at what they were doing on defense and saying, why are they leaving her so open?
Yeah, she said that in the interview. She noticed that the bigs on Colorado were not coming over and helping, so she had an open lane, and that's why she kept taking it to the basket.
Hey, it worked, right?
Yeah.
It did. And you mentioned Caitlin Clark before. We were in the newsroom watching the broadcast, and some of those passes looked unbelievable. The Sydney Folter running the fast break, Hannah Stolke on the pick and roll. Look, we saw what Caitlin Clark and Monica Sinano did last season, but what Clark is able to do with her entire team, spreading it out to everyone, might be even more impressive. How impressed were you with Clark's performance, passing, offense, not turning it over? It was a little bit of everything. How did it look from your angle in MVP Arena?
Incredible. One of the best performances, like I said, she's had. And one person I was really, really impressed with was Sydney Folter. To make full-speed layups like that on the run without a dribble, with your left hand and lay it off the glass, soft like that, really hard to do, and she made it look easy.
Yeah, I think she and Hannah Stolke are 2 of the best people to run the floor. But at this point, when it comes to Caitlin's passing, I'm used to it, right? I think we all are, having watched Iowa
There were some passes tonight I haven't seen her make before, which was really amazing.
Well, and what does Coach Bluter say? She always loved to say beautiful in practice, beautiful. And I know she was thinking it on the sideline today, seeing some of those.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch in person, I'll tell you that.
We were worried about, if we're Iowa fans, we're worried about Colorado's bigs and just how much of a problem they would cause. But in fact, Iowa was able to out-rebound Colorado 43-34, and I think you want to credit the forwards for that. Hannah Stolke, chief among them. What were they able to do? I'm sure you just talked to the players in the locker room. What were they able to do to pack the paint and basically not make Colorado's 6'3" players a big problem?
Exactly what they said before the game. They had to box out. Sid talked about, doesn't matter how big you are, if you box out, you can still get the rebound, and they did that. And I got to tell you, Hannah Stolke is playing much tougher than she's ever played before, and her toughness is showing in this tournament. She's super aggressive. She's taking some big hits out there, but she really is just playing phenomenal basketball right now.
And something she said in the locker room, too, is that she's had a year under her belt. You know, she's gotten to go against some of the best, you know, Big Ten bigs, and I think that's really helped her. She knew what she was going to have to do today, like you said. Box out, be tough, be physical. And I think she just keeps getting better. I mean, just a sophomore, if you can believe that. And so, I mean, she's going to continue to improve. That was just impressive to see her kind of take those two Colorado bigs and just, you know, get them down and dirty and elbow those way through there.
And one thing about this team, this is not obviously the same team as last year. They weren't as quick last year. They went more inside out. This year, with this team, if they shoot like the way they did today, I think this is a better team, a more explosive team than they had last year, and capable of winning it all, winning the national championship if they play like they did tonight.
I think something, too, is, you know, most of these players have been there. They know what it takes to get to a national championship, and I mentioned them just being locked in. I mean, they're kind of just playing free because this is it. You know, this could be their last 40 minutes anytime that they step onto the court. They know that, and so they're just embracing the moment.
Yeah, Kate Martin, a perfect example of that. You can see how laser focused she is. Nice to see her hitting shots. She hit a couple of big threes in this game, and I'm telling you, they're a dangerous team right now.
Yeah.
Albany, was it Carver Hawkeye East for you guys? Just seeing the black and gold in the stands?
Not quite, but it was probably, I would say, 50% Iowa fans, you know, because they gave tickets to other schools and they wanted to watch this game. So even UCLA fans were there, and I think everyone really enjoyed this. But I'd say 50%, and it did help. They were allowed 50%.
I will say, though, putting it into perspective a little bit, today is Saturday, right? So Sunday's game tomorrow, you can get tickets for about $5 to $7.
Yeah, it'll change.
Monday's game is over $150 plus dollars. We call that the Caitlin Clark effect. Obviously, Iowans know that very, very well, but that's kind of the difference right now. And I saw a sign earlier, too, that I just have to share. She said she flew from Ireland to be here, and actually chatted with a reporter who went to go talk to her, and they said that way back when they bought tickets to both Portland and Albany just to see, you know, who made it, and then they were going to sell the other tickets and go to one. And so because Caitlin Clark was here in Albany, she chose to come here. Pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's amazing. There were fans from Vermont, and I said, well, why are you here? And they said, Caitlin Clark. I mean, it's just incredible. But another thing, I think there will be some Iowa fans that might make the trip just for Monday night's game that might be able to get tickets online. There might be more Hawkeye fans at this game.
I mean, and that game is going to be fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if we wanted it this early, but America clearly wanted the Iowa-LSU rematch, but it would have been nice to maybe get it down the stretch a little bit.
I think Iowa wants this rematch. Talking to them in the locker room, I think they're excited. They wanted to enjoy this game for 20 minutes when they got back to the hotel and then start to focus on LSU.
LSU is going to pose an enormous challenge for Iowa. We just saw what LSU did against UCLA, a pretty good 2 seed that at one point could have been a 1 seed. Now we get the rematch that the entire country wanted to see. Yeah, the Elite Eight might be a little bit early, but come on, there are only 3 games left. And Chelsea and Scott, I know you guys are huge women's basketball fans, and this matchup is going to make waves, not just in Iowa and Louisiana, but throughout the country and throughout the world. You mentioned Ireland. Like, we might get shots on the ABC broadcast of people watching from all over the planet. But besides all the attention it's getting, can you tell me about what the Iowa players themselves are thinking? What are they thinking when they think about LSU and the challenge that they pose?
I can tell you right now, Hannah Stolke is really excited. She said she can't wait to play LSU, so she's jacked up about it. Caitlin kind of said, She said there's a rivalry there, but we're still not ready to think about them yet. And then Jan Jensen, she said, we want to have fun with this back at the hotel, but then we're going to switch our attention, and it's full go. And you could tell she had a gleam in her eyes. She's excited to play LSU. And I know the Iowa team is really ready for this rematch.
I mean, you want to right the wrong, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what the mentality is at this point. And chatting with the
Yeah.
players just a little bit, they did kind of brush it off. They knew what's coming next and everything. They know how many people want to see
The rivalry.
this rematch.
They played
Yeah.
one time, and it became a rivalry after
Right.
one game.
But at the same time, this is an LSU team that
They're loaded.
is very, very good, very
Yeah.
stacked. And Iowa struggled rebounding against them last year, so that's going to be a key emphasis. Maybe Colorado was a good setup for that one.
Yeah, I think if Iowa plays like they did tonight and LSU played like they did tonight, I think Iowa wins this game. I didn't think LSU was as sharp as they have been in their game earlier today against UCLA. But I think Iowa is, and they have a lot of confidence going into this game right now, and that's big.
Well, and not to knock LSU's win, but UCLA was very close shooting in that game. So, as Iowa comes out like they did today, it's going to be very, very competitive.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I don't know about you, Jack.
I am too. 78-69, by the way, was the LSU margin of victory over UCLA. UCLA very cold, 7 out of 32 from behind the arc. If you make
struggle.
2 or 3 more out of those, it is a much closer game, maybe an overtime game. That's what Iowa is hoping to do. All right, guys, we're going to see you later in the news at 10. What should we be looking forward to in terms of hearing from the players and the coaches?
Well, I'll talk to the players about LSU, and like I said, there are some funny little quotes there that we'll have for you tonight at 10.
All right, guys, thank you so much for your time. I know you have a very busy night ahead of you. Get some sleep because you're going to have 2 more busy days ahead of you, Iowa and LSU, for a spot in the Final Four on Monday. I don't think it gets any better than that. For the folks watching at home, thank you so much. We will see you on the TV9